Hello everyone, my name is Franco, and in today's video we're going to talk about, do you have a toxic relationship with money? Because I know that I have. Well, so first of all, what is a toxic relationship with money? Toxic relationship with money is something that is often referred to when we talk about people that just don't have a good view about money. And these views don't let them save money, it doesn't let them invest money, it doesn't let them get out of the place where they are stuck in. So some of the common symptoms that happen when we have a bad relationship with money are that either we hoard it or we spend money excessively, we feel guilty or ashamed about spending money, we feel like we never have enough money, or some people use money to control others or to control themselves. So as I said at the beginning of the video, I have a toxic relationship with money, so I just want to give a little bit of more information about myself so that you can know how this began and so that you can see if there's any parallels to yourself. My family was medium upper class in Argentina. Let me state that being middle high class in Argentina is very different to being middle high class in Australia or United States or any of those countries. But anyways, I was very lucky with the family I grew up in. I'm very proud and I'm very happy with the family that I have. They allowed me to have a very good education. I went to a private school, which was a very good school in Argentina. We had a relatively nice house and we had a holiday home as well. But as I said, all of this is in Argentina. And I don't know if you know it, but Argentina is doing very bad economically. I think at the time of making this video, we have an inflation of 150% per year. So it is pretty insane. Just so you have an idea, I left Argentina a little less than 4 years ago. And when I left, the $1 was the equivalent to 60 pesos. Now $1 is equivalent to around 450 pesos. So that's how bad the country is. So even though I was very lucky in the sense that I could have a good education and that I could go on holidays every so often and that I could see some places, some very beautiful places, and I had a lot of good things going on in my life, there was also a lot of problems with money. So for example, I was born in 2001. In 2001 there was a very bad economical crisis in Argentina that has kind of been plaguing my family ever since. I mean, the country was already not doing well before that, but that's when it's really started to go very badly. And my parents, just so you know, my parents are very entrepreneurial. They're very, very hard workers, and they've been successful for a long part of their life. I would say they've been successful for their whole life, honestly, but their least successful period was when I was born, and it was throughout my life, which was a little bit unfortunate. I could feel a lot of that. I could sense a lot of that, and a lot of that like kind of bled over to me. For example, they spent a lot of money in our education, which I think is very important. And let me say that I don't think any of what they did was wrong. I think they did exactly what they had to do at the time that they did it. Priority will always be education, so they invested a lot in our education. But that meant that we only went on holidays once a year. And I know that for some people that might sound like a luxury, but I went to a school where there was a lot of people with a lot of money, and one always compares themselves with what one has around them. And compared to the people around me, I felt like we were missing something, like we didn't really have a lot of money. It also depends a lot on what you decide to spend that money on, because for example, I didn't have a gaming console or any of that until I was 16. There I had my first gaming computer, but I bought that with my own money. For example, it took me a while to start having Nike shoes and stuff like that, when a lot of my friends already had that from an earlier age. A lot of them had better clothes than I had and a lot of that. But that's just because their parents decided to invest more in their image. And I think it was actually a good decision on my parents' part to not spend that much in my image, because there's other stuff that's more important. So for example, we didn't have a lot of liquid money, if you want, because our money was wrapped up in investments such as our holiday home and stuff like that we rented out, and we made more money off of that. Or for example, we had a dog nursery and we made money with that as well. So yeah, the money was there, it just wasn't seen from my kids' perspective as much, you know? Because there was so much money wrapped up in our education and in all of those investments and stuff like that, for example, we didn't go out to eat very often. So sometimes we would go out to eat, but many times it was like, no, we gotta save money for this and this and this. And I feel like there was not a lot of quality leisure time spent together with my family. So like I could sense that our parents loved us very much. We definitely had a very good relationship, but there was a lot of reasons to why we couldn't go out and eat, or why we couldn't go out and buy food. Like sometimes there was not even enough money for food or for gas or for electricity or stuff like that, or just like barely enough money. So for example, we would go to what's the equivalent of a Costco once a month, or sometimes less than once a month, and sometimes we would run out of food, and it was like, no, we're not gonna buy more of this until we go and do the big shopping next month or whatever. Again, that stuff is very, very responsible. I actually applaud my parents for doing this. But at the same time, I've witnessed a lot of their discussions over money. To be honest, it has had a very big toll on my parents' relationship, and sometimes on our relationship as a family. I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat or anything, but I think like our family was basically perfect if it weren't for the money. Like money caused basically all of the problems that we had. This was a big reason to why I decided to travel. I kind of wanted to escape that, and I kind of wanted to see for myself how I would work out all of these problems myself. And since I've been living alone, the money situation has been sometimes better, sometimes worse. I've had a very common symptom of people that have a bad relationship with money, which is that I feel like I don't have money. So when I get money, I spend that money so that I can feel like I have money, even though I don't really have it. And then because I've spent that money, again, I have no money and I have to start saving again. So I've had a lot of difficulties to save and to invest. I feel like I've invested a lot in myself with stuff like this camera that I'm using, or this tripod, or the microphone, stuff that I actually use for my YouTube channel, which hopefully one day will make me money. And if it doesn't, at least it's like something that I'm really passionate about. So it's not like I regret it. I do regret other things that I have bought in the past, and stuff that sometimes was not even stuff that I wanted. It's just stuff that other people were doing, and I would just join them, and I would just spend money on travels that I didn't necessarily wanted to do, because I've been traveling for the past 4 years. Sometimes I feel like I would have preferred to do one nice travel instead of 4 mediocre travels. But anyways, I guess you learn that with time. But yeah, I definitely obsess a lot about money as well. It happens to me a lot that I'm having a very good situation. I might be chilling with my girlfriend, or I might just be like, maybe we just go out to eat or something, and the only thing I can think about is how I don't have enough money to do that. And here's the thing, if you don't have enough money to do something, don't do it, you know? But if you're gonna do something, at least enjoy it. And that's the problem with me. Like, I would spend the money and I wouldn't even enjoy the fact that I've spent the money. Even when I bought this camera and stuff like that, it's stuff that really hurts me, and I'm really like constantly thinking like, did I do the right thing? Should I have spent it? Should I have not spent it? Yeah, like I've had very good situations in my life where I was not able to appreciate the situation because I could only think about money. And that came also in a big part because I compared myself to others. Especially nowadays with the internet and stuff like that, we're constantly seeing people that are younger than us, richer than us, and doing the exact same thing that we want to do. And we think that we're failures because we aren't living that life. But the truth is, every life is different, you know? Everyone gets to Rome, everyone gets to where they have to get at a different rhythm, you know? I had maybe focused more on money in the classical sense. Maybe I would have gone to university, I would have studied a career that would have given me the chance to earn more money or something like that. I wouldn't have lived the life that I've lived for the past 4 years, and that was actually exactly the kind of life that I wanted to live. So I have to come to terms with the idea that sometimes choosing one thing means that you're going to sacrifice another. So another very important symptom that I almost forgot to mention is that you kind of feel a lot of jealousy. For example, when you see a lot of these people that are immensely successful, especially at a young age, you immediately think, oh, they are scammers, something's fake, something's not working here. And sure, in some cases that's true, but in some cases it might just be that these people have worked very hard to get to the point where they're at. And sometimes these people are trying to teach you stuff for free. What they're doing, sometimes it's impossible to hate on it. Sure, they have courses and stuff like that, but if you don't want to spend money on those courses, you can learn a lot from them for free. When we think that what they're doing is fake, in a sense, we're thinking that it's impossible to do. And if we're thinking it's impossible to do, we're automatically thinking that it's impossible for us to do. I know this is gonna sound very cringe, but nothing is impossible. My mother used to say something which I really liked, which is, don't ask yourself if you can do something, ask yourself how to do something. If you want to make money traveling, it's absolutely possible. There's so many people doing it. You just have to investigate how to do it. If you don't need to travel, you just want to make a lot of money, it is absolutely possible. You just need to investigate how to do it. Many times we see ourselves like if we're in a world of not having enough, when the truth is we are in a world of abundance. I know there's a big part of the world that doesn't work this way, but if you're watching this with an internet connection on your phone or your computer, you probably belong to the part of the world that has abundance. Even if you live in a country like Argentina, there's still abundance there. There's still many ways to make money online that don't depend on the Argentinian economy. You can make money in dollars, which when you transfer that to pesos is a lot of money. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Is it going to be much harder than doing it in a first world country? Yes. But it's not impossible. It's just a matter of, do you want to put in the work to get to that point, economically or whatever it is? And if you don't want to put in the work, that's fine. You know, you only have one life. There's only a certain amount of things that you can put your energy into, and you have to choose wisely what to put that energy into. But that doesn't mean that something is impossible, and that definitely doesn't mean you should be hating on people who have more than you, or people that are further ahead on the path that you want to be. So for example, now I live in a pretty rich neighborhood in Australia, basically one of the richest neighborhoods in Australia. Of course, we're just renting a small studio apartment. It's like a 2x2, like there's literally not enough space to open the door of the toilet because the door is too low, so it kind of gets covered by the carpet, you know. But the thing is, when I'm going shopping or when I'm out on the street and I see all these people with so much money, I immediately feel jealousy. And that's not a good thing, that's not healthy, because it's so hypocritical. It's like, I want to make a lot of money and I want to be successful, but then I see the people who are successful and who have a lot of money, who have done what I want to do, and I'm angry with them. It's like, what the hell? So yeah, I'm just trying to learn to see it in a different way. I'm around a lot of people that have a lot of money, and instead of being jealous or trying to look for all the bad things in them, I'm actually trying to see all the good things in them. What are the things that I can learn for myself? What are the things that I can do so that I can get to the point where they are at? And just to be clear, I don't want to have money to be a show-off. I just want to have money so that I can have freedom to do the stuff that I want to do. For example, I have expensive tastes, you know. I like photography, I like videography, I like traveling, I like skiing, for example. And little side note on this thing is that going back to what I said about anything is possible, I have even found a way to ski without money. So when I was traveling in New Zealand, I applied for a job at a ski resort, and I've worked there for the whole season, and I actually worked in the morning and in the evening, which means I had the whole day free to ski. So I was skiing at least 2 hours a day. And at the beginning, I couldn't even go down the blue, like the blue is like the second hardest level. I couldn't even go down the blue area without falling down. And at the end, I was doing the black ones, the super difficult ones, and I even became a ski instructor. If it sounds like I'm boasting, I am, honestly, because I'm very proud of that. I managed to ski without money, and not only that, I managed to go from beginner to not expert, but good enough that I can become a teacher. Yeah, I know it's a very cringe message to say anything is possible, but it kind of is true. Even people say, oh, so you can fly? Well, yeah, people have invented planes, and now there's CRISPR, so who knows, maybe in 100, 200 years people will fly. So yeah, I don't know. Really, that's about it for me. In terms of how I'm trying to improve my relationship with money, because this video is not coming from the perspective of someone who has a lot of money and who's already solved it. It's coming from the perspective of someone who's actually trying to solve it right now. I've learned a couple things, like a thing or two, and I would like to share those things with you to see if they can help you as well. So first, you have to accept that you have a problem with it, like with any addiction, like with any problem. If you don't have a problem with it, I don't know why you're watching this video. So then you have to make a conscious effort to enjoy the thing you're doing with money. So you gotta be more mindful about the things that you're doing with money. What has helped me is, for example, I now keep a spreadsheet where I put in all the money that goes out every month. So I just go on my banking app and I pass everything from the banking app to the spreadsheet, and I put how much money I've earned. So then I see how much money is left over, and then I can see like either a positive trend or a negative trend. I can see like how much cash flow I have, basically. I can also see what I'm spending that money in. If I'm spending too much money in food, I'm gonna feel like I did something wrong, and then there's something that I'm gonna try and fix next month. But for example, if that money went to my visa extension, which it did, or like to buying a car, which I need for work or stuff like that, then I'm not going to feel so bad about it, because at least I know, yes, I did spend that money, but I spent it in something that's actually good for my future. So yeah, another thing that helps me is setting long-term and short-term goals for money. For example, a short-term goal is my family is coming very soon to Australia and I'm going to travel with them, so I just wanted to have a little bit of money so that I can feel comfortable traveling with them. And then a long-term goal is I'm going to go back to Argentina to visit my family, like my extended family and my friends. And then I'm gonna come back to Australia. And when I come back to Australia, I'm probably gonna study. But anyways, I need money for that. And eventually, I might want to buy a van with my girlfriend and I want to live in the van. I definitely don't think that's a bad thing, because yes, there's an upfront cost to it, but at the end of the day, it's cheaper because I'm not going to be paying for rent. Yes, I'm going to have to pay for some campsites and stuff like that, but it's going to be much cheaper. And then eventually I'm going to be able to sell the van, and it's going to end up being much cheaper than living in an apartment. Of course, I can travel and I can live a life that's much more according to this period that I'm in. It's like a traveling period, you know? That really motivates me to want to save, you know? Like, since I talked about this with my girlfriend, since we talked about what our plans are for the next year, it's incredible how much we have changed our habits. So we were constantly going out to eat, we were constantly spending money in places we shouldn't be spending money, like most young adults do. But the second we've set those goals for us, we've spent much less money. We now spend about $200 a month for groceries, which might sound like a lot, but in Australia that's not a lot. That means it's like $50 a week for food for both of us, which is actually very good in Australia. And yeah, we've gone out to eat much less, basically nothing. We haven't eaten outside once since we've done that. Noticing what period of life you're in is also important, because for example, in my first video, I made a comment which was, I'm just a normal, broke 22-year-old. And my girlfriend actually watched that clip and she told me, like, why do you say that? There's so many people that are watching from Colombia, from Argentina, or countries where it's normal to still live with your parents at that age because you literally can't afford an apartment and anything. And you're out here, you have your own apartment, you have your own job, you have your own life, you're completely independent. So why are you throwing yourself down by saying you're just a normal, broke, blah, blah, blah? In a sense, that's normal, you know? At the age that you are, it's normal for you to be broke. What's more, you shouldn't really be saving money at this period, you should be investing it. So it's also not good to have just to have money sitting in your bank account, losing value with inflation and all of that, especially when you're young, when you're my age or something like that. It's more worth it to invest it in tools, like for example my camera, or education. So I'm probably gonna get a student visa just so I can live a bit longer in Australia, just so I can make more money and I have more opportunities in Australia, which is a good thing. It just helps me to know that the money is gonna go out anyways. Somehow it's gonna go out of my bank account. So it's good to at least control where it's going to and make sure that it's going to things that are actually building up my future, because I know that once my future is a little bit more set, I have a little bit more experience, I have different studies. I'm not saying university studies, but just like courses, whatever, as I just need a bit more knowledge, I need more skills, and then with those skills I know I'm going to be able to make much more money than what I'm making now, which is minimum wage. I'm just working at a restaurant and stuff. So yeah, you also have to know what period of life you're in, and don't feel bad just because you know that there's 19-year-old that already made $3 million or something like that. So yeah, that's basically it. There's not much more to talk about it. I could talk about it more. I think I would rather cut it here so that people actually want to watch this video for a longer time. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to comment down below if there's anything you would like to add. Subscribe if you want to watch more videos of this type, and just leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video so that I know that you enjoyed it and I can keep doing more videos of this sort. If you're watching on YouTube, I have a Spotify channel where I'm uploading this stuff, or at least I'm trying to, even though I'm having difficulties with Spotify at the moment. And if you're listening on Spotify, I have a YouTube channel where I make these same videos, but I also upload shorts and I upload video stuff since it's a video platform. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.